Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com and I'm here to do your June transformation reading. And I'm actually using a type of oracle or psychological set of cards. So these are not your normal tarot cards. Although there are some predictive elements in this reading, it's also and probably primarily about ways and energies to help you transform, especially at the moment because there is so much opportunity in the heavens for deep change within us all. So let's go to the main board now and have a look. Now, if you haven't followed me before, I'll just explain a little bit about these cards. There are two cards. So there's an outer card that you can see now, these ones that I'm shuffling, and there's also an inner card that fits on top of these. It's a good idea, rather than just relying on my interpretation, if you sort of go deep within and see how it applies for you. You may come up with a completely different interpretation than I have. And because it's about your life and it's particular to you, that is the interpretation I would follow. What you get if it's different to what I actually get. Because what I'm doing is a group reading for the collective, so to speak, but your individual personal life, you're the best one placed to work out what these cards are trying to tell you. Now we're going to go week by week, and we're going to start with the first week of June for your transformational reading. I'm going to go with this card here, and it's fear. Okay, this is really relevant at the moment because there is so much fear and anxiety that people are suffering from. Okay, so first week. Now inside that we have another card, and I'll just give these a quick shuffle. I've already shuffled them, and let's see what comes up for you in the first week of June. Okay, I'm going to go with that one. I'll close my eyes first, see what I can see. I see the ocean. There's dark blue patches and light blue patches. Okay, so you may have been in quite a sort of deep place, even maybe a dark place, but now it's like you've been down deep and you're coming up for air. So in the first week of June, you could feel relieved in some way. And I turn this over and we see the forest. Okay, so this could give you new life, could give you a feeling of being able to breathe, because you know how trees create oxygen. Okay, so this is very appropriate. So if we slide this on top of this, here's a question for you. Do you have a fear of life? Do you have a fear of really thriving, really growing, being successful in some area? You know, sometimes it's a bit scary to look down inside us and have a look at what our deepest fears are, and yet they can hold us back. At some point, if, for example, you want to do something like be a YouTuber, it can be really frightening and, you know, anxiety provoking. But at some time, you know, you go through all of the machinations and the thinking about it and working with it. At some point, you just have to, you know, bite the bullet, grab the bull by the horns and do it. Yeah, it's scary, you know. I get nervous. I've been on this platform for 13 years and I still get nervous. But at some point, you know, you just have to do it. And so please have a look at any deep fears that are holding you back from life, okay? Because the forest is trying to give you sustenance and trying to give you oxygen for your greatest projects, your greatest missions in life. Okay, let's have a look in the second week of June. And as always, if you resonate with this, that's what you should take on board. If it doesn't feel like anything to you, you don't feel anything when I'm speaking, then it's probably not for you. Okay, second week of the month, expert. Okay, you know what they say about experts, they're just drips under pressure. So that's an old-fashioned joke. So expert, let's see what comes out for expert, and we'll shuffle these up, and I'm going to go with that one. Closing my eyes now, and what do I see? I see a path through the forest. Yes, it's not a straight path, it's a bit up and down, it curves around to the left, and so I can't really see behind the trees because this is a path through the forest curving to the left, which indicates more to do with your creativity, your feminine side, your intuition, your own wisdom. Okay, and we come up with food on a plate. This is all about nurturance. Did you cook the food yourself? If you did, that's about self-nurturance. Or it could be, if you cooked it for somebody else, it's about nurturing other people. Okay, so here we go. Be an expert on nurturing. I always think that primarily nurturing yourself is of the highest importance, because it's hard to nurture other people when your own cup is nearly empty. So, you know, when you get on an aircraft, in the old days when we could still fly, I don't know what happens now with COVID and everything, but there used to be, the flight attendants used to say, if there's a, you know, excuse me, if there's an incident, that you wait for the mask to drop from the ceiling, you put your own mask on first, and then you attend to other people. So I would say this is being an expert in self-nurturance, and then you can be an expert in nurturing others in the second week of June. Okay, hope that makes sense for you. In the third week of June, let's have a look at what card comes out. I'm going with that one, and it's rigid. Think about the concept of rigidity. Okay, that's the third card, and the card that goes within, let's see what comes out. Let's see, just looking for the right one. That one. Okay, closing my eyes now, I see a window, and the forest is outside the window, and a window is like a window of opportunity. It's got a framework around it, it's got some structure. It's important that that framework is rigid so that you can open the window to make the best of the opportunity that's there. Okay, but of course there's different types of rigidity, and having a solid sort of framework is good, but sometimes you don't want to be rigid because the situation is changing so quickly. All right, so in this case, this is about measuring up. Okay, so you might ask yourself, do you have a rigid idea about how you have to measure up? Are you constantly comparing yourself to other people? Are you trying to measure up to someone? Measure up to your father, or be good enough for your father, or measure up to your mother? Was your mother some sort of superwoman that could accomplish everything? Cooking, cleaning, working, looking after kids, and have a few hobbies on the side, and then go and win the marathon or whatever, you know, her hobbies were. But firstly, I would say that trying to measure yourself against other people is not a good idea. If you're a YouTuber, that is a really big trap, because, you know, we're looking to see how well our channel's going, and so, you know, if we compare ourselves to other people, it's an unfair comparison because all the variables are different from one YouTuber's video to the next. So although you might pick up a few hints and think, oh, that's a good idea or something like that, if you're rigid about it, if you're sort of flogging yourself to death about YouTube videos or anything else you do in your life trying to measure up, that could be a problem. Okay, that doesn't give you the fluidity to be able to pivot when things change. And because we're in such a changeable time at the moment, we don't want to be rigid right now. Geez, that one wants to come out. So that's the beginning. Let's go with that. And inside the beginning, going to go with that one. Closing my eyes now, and what do I see? The beginning of seagulls, birds flying, taking a big picture view, not getting caught in the details and enjoying themselves. Yeah, go and have a chip. And we come up with the family. Okay, so this goes in front of this. Notice the family have got their backs turned to us. Do we feel rejected? Okay, is this the beginning of you really looking inside yourself at these issues about feeling alone and isolated because at some time you were rejected by your family? Okay, is this the beginning of a new start? Maybe you can start a new relationship. Go and speak to them if they're ignoring you. I don't, I'm just throwing questions out there. I'm not saying you should do it. Might be all sorts of reasons why you don't want to have contact with your family, and that's fair enough. But it's, if something's happened in your childhood, you don't necessarily have to confront the perpetrators, but you do have to confront the energy within you in order to heal. And, sometimes people do confront perpetrators and it's a healing closure for them. But that part's not strictly necessary. It's more about you looking inside yourself. Okay, the beginning of awareness that you are not alone. The beginning of awareness that you are an immortal, unique spirit that lives forever and you're connected with the whole of humanity. Okay, that's towards the end of the month. All right, and let's look at the last couple of days of the month. I'm going to go with that one who's sticking its little head out. Intimidate. Okay, intimidate. And let's see what comes out here. Whoa, this one's jumping out. Closing my eyes now, and what do I see? I see new life. I see butterflies. You'll notice there's butterflies here, in fact. I've got my eyes closed, but I'm still seeing red and yellow, and yes, these orange ones, pink, all sorts of colours for new beginnings and in different areas of your life. Okay, so there's been a lot coming up in the horoscopes about people's money and their jobs across all signs. Okay, so I've never had that situation before where I've had so much in the horoscopes about money and work, and this could be part of your new beginnings because there's lots of new beginnings here. And here we have a tunnel, and it goes on and on and on. So when we put that on top, you can ask yourself the question, are you feeling intimidated by something? Are you intimidated by the very, very long journey of self-development that goes on for the whole of your life and beyond? You'll notice, even though this is like a tunnel, it also looks a little bit like a power cord, and down the end here, that's the bit that that plugs in. Okay, so there's power in this, and you'll notice that the colours have a purple and a pink. These are actually really good colours. Pink is about self-healing, and purple is the colour of royalty. So the divine masculine or the divine feminine within you, which comes from directly from spirit and is sitting there waiting to be awakened or reawakened. So are you feeling nervous about your spiritual journey? Okay, this is like a journey. You go into that tunnel and just keep on going, but it's all going to be okay. So examine any anxiety or feelings of, disturbance or, tension, stress, that sort of thing. If you feel intimidated at all towards the end of the month. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to just close my eyes and see what I can see for you for the month of June with regard to transformation. Okay, I've got somebody here writing letters. So these are messages that you could be receiving from your own subconscious. It could also be messages from the outside world, but do be careful they don't get misconstrued, because we do have Mercury going retrograde in June right up to the 12th of July, and there's a bit of a shadow period on either side. So you can basically say, majority of the second half of June to say, the 20th of July, that some sort of energy might be around that could be misunderstood, miscommunications, and issues with technology. But the most important messages are those from yourself, from your own subconscious. And because, the reason for this reading is about your own transformation, when you pick up a little thing from your subconscious, whether that be in your dreams or your meditations, or little sort of psychic flashes you might have in the day, you just can, you can kind of catch it in your mind. You're doing something and then out of the blue, something completely unrelated flashes in your mind for just a really short period of time, and then it's gone. And while I'm saying this, I see beautiful staircases in grand mansions and, these beautiful estates with these staircases going up and up, like in ballrooms, and people in gowns, women in beautiful gowns. And it's a bit like maybe the 1930s, or not 30s, maybe the 1950s after the war, in a very grand sort of home. And this home is you. Your body is your home, okay? So it is also a good time for changing your health regime, changing your diet, and self-improvement generally. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for this month. Hope you found that helpful. Please leave me a comment. I love to hear how you're going with everything, and, do you resonate with any of this? It'd be great to know that. If you haven't joined me before, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you can get all my updates. So just give it a click. Okay, thanks again, and wishing you a very insightful and wonderful month for June. Have a lovely day. Okay, thank you, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.